Opening, the house in the woods. The story opens with a drone shot gliding over a dense, fog-covered forest. Deep within stands an old, isolated house, recently inherited by Lena Ward, a 33-year-old trauma therapist. She moves in to escape city life after the death of her estranged mother. The house feels unnervingly quiet, as if it's holding its breath. A single locked door in the basement remains sealed with chains, marked "Do Not Open." The first night in her first night, Lena hears faint whispers echoing through the air vents. Thinking it's her mind playing tricks, she turns on white noise to sleep. At 3:03 a.m., the electricity flickers off, and a child's laugh echoes down the hallway. She finds her phone showing a video she didn't record of her standing at the basement door. She deletes it, but it reappears every morning. The neighbor. The next day, Lena meets her only neighbor, Eli Burns, a reclusive man living half a mile away. He warns her the property has a dark history, 5 disappearances tied to it. Lena brushes it off, attributing his warning to rural superstition. That night, she records herself sleeping to prove there's nothing there. In the footage, she watches herself rise at 3:03 a.m., whisper something to the wall, and smile. The locked door Lena decides to confront her fear and tries to open the basement door. No matter what tool she uses, the chains won't break, almost as if they resist her. Behind the door, something scratches gently, rhythmically. Eli urges her to leave the house for a few nights, but she refuses. She begins hearing her mother's voice calling from behind the door. The therapist becomes the patient. Lena begins documenting her experiences like a case study. She speaks into her recorder, detailing auditory hallucinations, recurring dreams, and time gaps. Her own handwriting begins to change in her journal, looping, childish, and unfamiliar. One night, her reflection mouths different words than she speaks. The recorder captures a second voice responding to her analysis. "You're not the first one." The missing files while sorting through her mother's belongings. Lena finds patient files marked with her own name. She realizes her mother, also a therapist, had treated someone claiming to be Lena years ago. The notes describe memory transference and a tethered identity-seeking form. As she reads, Lena feels dizzy, her vision flickering between 2 faces in the mirror. The more she reads, the more she forgets about herself. The basement awakens. The scratching becomes louder, followed by a child's voice singing lullabies. Lena wakes up one morning to find the chains broken from the inside. The door stands open, revealing a staircase descending into darkness. Her flashlight flickers as she descends. Halfway down, she sees a small wooden chair and a mirror, with her mother's reflection sitting in it. The truth beneath. The basement walls are lined with drawings made by a child, signed Lena, age 6. She doesn't remember ever living here as a child. Eli appears suddenly, confessing he knew her mother and that Lena was born in the house. Her mother had performed experimental memory therapy on her after a tragedy. The therapy didn't cure her. It split her mind. The double Lena's nights grow increasingly warped. She sees her double, same face, darker eyes, moving independently in mirrors and windows. It whispers, "You left me down there?" Lena begins to lose sense of who she is. Her phone shows photos of her in places she's never been. Her therapist colleagues call, concerned. She's been missing for weeks. The hidden recordings in the attic, Lena finds her mother's old audio cassettes. They document sessions with a patient who speaks in Lena's voice but claims to be the original. The tapes end abruptly with her mother's terrified scream. A faint child's giggle plays in reverse at the end of every tape. Lena realizes the version of her alive now may not be the real Lena. The shifting house. The house itself begins to change, doors moving, hallways extending. Eli tries to enter one night but is repelled by invisible force. He hears 2 voices arguing inside, both Lena's. She watches her other self sitting calmly at the dining table, smiling. Then the doppelganger says, "You've been living in my house." The other side of the wall Lena follows the sound of whispers to a hidden panel behind the basement mirror. Inside is a small room, her childhood bedroom perfectly preserved. A diary lies on the bed. It describes her mother trapping the dark half behind the wall after a failed experiment. But that half found a way to speak, through vents, mirrors, and dreams. Eli's revelation: Eli breaks into the house to save her, revealing his connection. He was one of her mother's test subjects. He tells Lena that her mother's research was part of a government-backed psychological trial. It explored consciousness duplication, separating trauma into a physical form. Lena realizes she might be living proof it worked, but the other version wants its life back. The possession Lena begins blacking out for hours at a time. When she wakes, the furniture has moved, symbols are painted on the walls, and Eli is gone. Her reflection now smiles even when she doesn't. She confronts it, and the mirror cracks. From the fracture, her double steps out fully formed. The face of truth. The two Lenas confront each other in the flickering light of the broken mirror. Each insists they're the real one, each remembering a different childhood. The double claims she was buried alive in the house's foundation. And now she's free. The house begins shaking violently as if alive. Both scream, merging into a single shadowy form. The collapsed windows shatter, lights explode, and the basement floods with a dark mist. Voices of children chant, "She's home now." The house implodes into silence. When morning comes, only the front door remains standing. Eli's truck is found nearby, door open, engine still running. No trace of him. 1 month later, a new couple arrives to buy the property. They find it oddly pristine, freshly renovated with a welcoming aura. A friendly woman greets them, introducing herself as Lena Ward, the realtor. As she smiles, her eyes flicker, one brown, one black. She hands them the keys. Welcome home. The final recording. During the end credits, Lena's old recorder plays in the background. A voice whispers, "If you find this, leave before 3:03. A faint child's laugh echoes. Then silence. Static crackles and the recording ends with, "Session complete. Subject integrated. Post-credit scene. Tease." A real estate ad appears online for the same house. In the thumbnail, a reflection in the window shows two women, identical, standing side by side. The photo glitches, flickers, and loops back endlessly. A caption reads, "Home is where you find yourself." Then the screen cuts to black. Title, "Reveal." The final moment shows the title appearing on screen in red static. "The Other Room." Then it distorts and rearranges itself letter by letter until it spells Untitled Blumhouse Film.